In this session, we're going to go through a few key questions that I always hear when it comes to emotional intelligence and leadership. I give a lot of workshops around about this. I give a lot of webinars and one-to-one coaching about it, and a few questions always come up. And I've decided to go through them right at the beginning because I don't want you to have them at the back of your head as you go through the course. So I'm going to go through all of them at light speed just because I want to give you a quick answer, and you will see how many of the points that we'll touch later on will connect to these answers. Right, 3 main questions. Number 1, why? Why should I care about developing emotional intelligence versus anything else? Because I know it's something that is nice to have, it's something positive, it's something good, but when it comes to the bottom line, is there anything that I can reasonably expect? Any measurable result that I can see or that has been tested when it comes to being more or less emotionally intelligent? Yes. There are outcomes for you and outcomes for your team. Let's start with you. We've seen that emotional intelligence means having more control on the effect that negative emotions especially have on your life. For example, you know that when you're in a negative place, when you're particularly sad or remorseful or rageful, it becomes so easy to get so caught up into that emotion that you barely have room to deal with anything else. It becomes difficult to focus right, it becomes difficult to judge well, and despite your best efforts, you still end up investing most of your energy trying to mitigate those negative effects. Well, being emotionally intelligent means not having to deal with any of that. It means understanding and recognizing exactly what's going on. It means being able to steer your emotional state from a negative one towards a more positive and constructive one. And it means actually being able to mitigate those negative effects on the way you think, the way you work, and the way you behave. So, if the most immediate effect of emotional intelligence is reducing this strain that your brain is under, well, this also means that all of a sudden you will have a lot more room for everything else. So, for example, you'll be able to focus more and be more efficient in what you do and perform better. But also, you'll be able to be more aware of your environment, capturing more information, for example, understanding the deeper meaning of specific events, or reading your team's dynamics a lot better. And you'll be able to think, experiment, create a lot more, because all of a sudden you have the flexibility and the freedom to do that. And on top of this, you will be able to learn a lot more quickly. If there is a skill that you see you need to acquire, or also a difficult concept that you see you need to understand, you'll be able to do so much more quickly. All of this also leads to a much stronger performance, your own personal performance. So what you can expect is that you will perform a lot better. On top of this, when it comes to your team, you will be able to understand each individual person a lot better. And you'll be able to establish a stronger, deeper relationship with each one of them. Why? Because all of a sudden you will have a lot more focus and attention to devote to them. And especially this point is phenomenal when it comes to leadership. Because leading others on the basis of an ethical, trustworthy, respectful relationship sets a brilliant stage for higher performance, for motivation, for commitment, for resilience. And if you've ever worked under a leader who has this specific mindset, you know how much of a strong impact this has on team performance. We'll see more of the impacts on your team in the next video. But when it comes to you, there is one more point I want to make. Because there is another very curious effect. The fact that you will not only perform better, but you will be perceived by whoever is above you in the hierarchy as a better performer. Meaning that if you and someone else have exactly the same position, the same skills, the same approach, and the same results, but you are more emotionally intelligent, your boss, whoever is above you, will consider your performance to be superior. It's strange, but it's another effect that's been seen and tested.